Let's have a listen. 1, 2, 1, 2. I can hear it. Yep, beautiful. I can hear. That's great, yeah. It was great because the game we called it horrible. Couldn't get the ref. Oh, yeah, I couldn't hear. Do you reckon I'll be able to hear ref as well? Or?
Ref should be coming through 100% certain.
They will. I think they will.
Oh, that'd be good.
They should. Geez, they're
Makes
running
it
late
so
today.
much easier.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that? They're running
late.
Mm. I'm going to weather check.
They'll be out in less than 2 minutes.
Hello and welcome to the Dapto Showground for Round 4 Illawarra Hardware Man League action. It's the match of the round. Bar TV coming to you live. Corey Hammond with you for the call alongside me, Johnny Pep. Well, Johnny, Dapto against West. It doesn't get much bigger than this. And many experts think it might be a little appetiser for what we might see come late August, September.
Good to be here, Corey, and the wind is up here at Dapto Showground to nearly blow a dog off a chain here. It's been like this all day in the Illawarra. 9 o'clock this morning, I was watching the young fella up at Jim Allen Oval, Scarborough, and it was blowing the witches' hats off the ground. Conditions have not changed, so these two sides are going to have to play with windy conditions. And as you said, it is going to be a blockbuster of a game, this one. The Dapto Canaries and the Western Suburbs Red Devils, old school rivals in this Illawarra League competition. And I think we're going to see a full 80 minutes of hard football here today, Corey.
You were down here in the Challenge Cup, an absolute belter here at the Dapto Showground. Dapto winning that one in the dying stages, 30 points to 28. Are you expecting, A, as many points in this game today, and B, are you expecting it to be as close?
Points, they're going to be at a premium today. We've got two very good defensive sides taking the field this afternoon, and look, either way, if we're going to see less points or more points, I think we're going to be less than 4 points in the end result for these two teams. A few changes to the sides today. We see Josh Bryant out for today. Dylan Capan getting the call up from Michael Henderson. And we also see Brad Speechley onto the bench for the Western Suburbs Red Devils. And I heard a whisper before the game, Corey, the captain coach Michael Henderson, he might start the game. So let's look for him to take the field early and Tyson Tamakaha back to the bench.
Yeah, just having a look at the moment to see if we can spot Michael Henderson. And indeed,
yeah, there he is, centre of the paddock there. Got the 15 on his back, Michael Henderson.
yeah, he's just rubbing his hands together, and we're rubbing our hands together for this one as well, Johnny. Dapto, they will run from west to east, and they will kick off in this first half. West will get first use of the football. Really looking forward to this one. And Dale Whiteman is the man with the whistle in the middle. As we're just about set, having a look at the flags here at the Dapto Showground at Dapto will be running with the breeze in the first half, and we're underway for round 4 of the Illawarra Hardware Man League competition. It's a high spiralling kick to start us off, and Dylan Laurie with the first cart. He's 15 metres out from his own line. They shift to Leah Tagaga, and he advances it over the 20. 2 tackles into this game. West's unbeaten, as are Dapto. Dapto having only played the one game in a disjointed start to the season, the rep bye, the general bye. As for West, they've had a draw and 2 wins, including a big win over Corrimal last week, 66 points to 14. Slow play the ball. They're almost up to halfway, the Red Devils, and going for a snipe from dummy half is Daly, and he'll play the football 41 metres out from the Canaries goal line. That's the 5th and last. It goes back to the boot of Green. He decides to keep it low and pierces the gap there, and now Pieper has the retrieving duties, and he'll be tackled 10 metres out from his own line. A safe start by West, Johnny Pett.
Sure was, Corey, and if that's the standard, that first set of 6 we are going to see here today at Dapto Showground, we're in for a big 80 minutes of rugby league. We see Dapto just working out of their own area, and a nice scoot from their new number 9 this season, Dylan McGregor, and what a find he's been in first grade in the last, well, they've only played one game, Dapto, but he was enormous against the rule here in that 20-0 victory. Shifting
of the spine, we see Pieper go from the halves back to fullback. What a job he has to do today. As the ball goes back to Syker, and Syker, he finds a bit of turf and picked up by Pello. Colby Pello, what form he's been in, 5 tries in 3 games, equal leading try scorer. And incidentally, it's his teammate Mitch Porter who also has 5. As he carts the football forward, speaking of Mitch Porter, wearing the 20 jersey this afternoon. He'll play the football as they go to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez, he finds in the 11 jersey there Kieran Rankmore, who goes from the front row to the back row. And now Stanford showing it and going himself, almost piercing the gap. He's 5 metres short of halfway as West go to the right with Green to Stewart. The Manly South Sydney veteran back in Red Devils colours, looking to recapture some of that form. That took him to the top. A Kangaroo, a state of origin player with New South Wales, as that ball's kept low and Pieper's there to claim it. And 2 in there, Green and also Porter to bring him down. Here's the captain, Coach Henderson. 21 metres out, littered with ex-NRL talent, this Canary side. An embarrassment of riches. Now carting the football forward, and that's Hancock. Improving a handful. A couple shy of halfway as it goes to Jeff Robson, speaking of that NRL talent. And he picks out Pello on the full. He'll take the tackle right on the 30. And that's Kurt Fields, 12 shy of halfway, as they go to the right with Green onto Stewart. Stewart holding the ball in 2 hands. That double threat can play at the line and can also carve you up when hitting the ball up. As Laurie takes it into the Canaries half. 0-0 the score here at the Dapto Showground. Stanford taking to the line. Leah Tagaga advancing towards the 30. Last tackle for West. Short side Rodriguez. He goes to the sky. An early test and taken comfortably. That was the replacement, and Dylan Capan as now Dapto work it away from their own line. So both sides looking to assert themselves as perhaps early premiership favourites, as Dunning will play at 15 shy of the halfway. And to his front row partner Hancock. A big front row Dapto as the ball goes back to Syker. And Syker sends it to the skies, swirling in the breeze, and a nice take. Good work there from Towers. So far, it's been good. It's been a high standard of football, few errors. In fact, none.
Yeah, 5 minutes of play has been done in this first half here, Corey, and not one mistake, not one penalty. So Dale Whiteman allowing a free-flowing game of rugby league here this afternoon. As we see a little bit of sunshine starting to crack through these clouds. The wind has not dropped off as of yet. And West on the attack over the halfway, and both sides playing very complete football so far, Corey.
They certainly are, as Lalia wraps up Stewart, short side. Daly thought he spotted a gap, but he ran into traffic. And the tackle made. Short side, Green kicks it infield. Easy one for Pieper. And Rodriguez and Porter put him down. 15 metres out from his own line. And the first penalty of the game we see blowing, jumping the gun.
A little bit itchy there, the Western Suburbs Red Devils defence, trying to get up early and shut down the Dapto Canaries attack, as we see a good touch finder there from Harry Syke. And we'll go back to that bomb that Harry Syke put up earlier. It went high as the clouds, and that spiral kick, it'll come into effect throughout this game with this wind.
It has to be a tactic, particularly with the kickers at the Canaries' disposal, Robson and Syke. And the first attacking opportunity of the game. And it goes to the wayside. It's the captain, coach, and Henderson spilling his lollies. And the Red Devils really untested on that little foray as Laurie carts the football forward. He's 36 metres out from his own line. They go short side. And shaping to pass there and deciding to hold the football was Laurie. In fact, that's Rankmore. Leah Tagaga. Local boy went to Fig Tree High. Part of the Dragon system once upon a time. Stewart out the back. It goes from Pello out to Towers. Back inside to Pello. And the Red Devils strike first. He'll improve the position. And West looking good early.
Great try from Western Suburbs. We'll go back to that last play, and we've seen both their halves, Justin Rodriguez on one side, Zach Green on the other. So the Dapto Canaries defence not sure which way Josh Daly was going to go. Went the way of Zach Green, and that man Pello involved again. And he's been enormous so far early in 2018. But the Western Suburbs Red Devils cracking first points here at Dapto Showground.
Yes, well, when West sense an opportunity, those Pello twins are never far away. A nice interchange of passing down the short side, and Tony Pello, he started it, he finished it, and this will be a mere formality for Mitch Porter.
And we'll just go back to that carry from Mick Henderson, fumbling the ball, and how often do we see points on the back end of a mistake? And I'm sure if Hendo won his time over again, he would have tucked that one under the wing. I'm sure he's keeping quiet down there in that huddle now.
And it's very hard when you're the captain coach and you're the one making the error. First real opportunity either side has had in this game, and they're very good at converting, as Mitch Porter makes no mistake with that one. 6 points to 0. West lead Dapto. Has to be said, it was the first attacking opportunity. I called West against Collies a few weeks ago, and that was the notable thing about West. They weren't taking their opportunities in the first half, but in the second half they came out, they were clinical, and they got the points. And they've started off nicely here. That's a high kick-off. Taken on the far side, and Dylan Laurie will cart it up into the Dapto defence. The visitors starting off nicely. Leah Tagaga. Betting a two-man tackle. Rodriguez showing it, going himself, running it. Henderson and Robson, and they bring him down. 11 shy of that halfway mark. Stanford taking it to the line, asking questions. They shift back to Rodriguez, cut out pass, and field is Metna. Ball and all tackle by Lalia. Keith Lalia alongside Lalia, the brothers in the centres for Dapto. As that kick goes high, well, they don't want a bar of it. It bounces awkwardly. It goes back to West. It's play on. And they're not going to die wondering with it, but the ball comes back to the Canaries. Luckily, it was Fogland there, I think.
Yeah, that wind in effect there from that bomb just swirling around, holding up in the breeze. Bit of a lucky bounce there for the Dapto Canaries. It could have quite easily gone back in the hands of the Western Suburbs player. As we see now, Dapto back on the attack, 40 metres out from the try line. So a big chance here for Dapto to hit back.
Great run by Lilia. Lilia is Henderson. Met by a couple of West defenders and gets a quick play the ball. They go to the right, Syker to Robson. Robson showing it on the inside and giving it to Reddy. Joel Reddy's tackle 22 metres out. Robson set to the right. They go to him and he passes to Pieper. Quick hands to Lilia. He can't handle it. It'll be a changeover. West stand up in defence on that occasion. It was looking dangerous for a moment. They'll get the penalty out of it.
You just called that little backline move there, Corey, and we are going live throughout the world, this Bar TV. And if everyone's just switched on in, we've just called Syker, Robson, on to Reddy. Now, everyone will think this is NRL. 10 years ago here, the amount of names that are playing in this game, ex-NRL experience. And on the other side, you've got Glenn Stewart. So
I was just going to say, we need Glenn Stewart to come over this side.
Filled with talent, both these two teams, as is the Illawarra League competition.
Speaks volumes. And a lot of these other players, as we see the ball go from Stewart to Porter, we do see a lot of these players in this game have been in the NRL system at one point or another. Stanford going towards Pieper, almost went round him. He's 5 metres out. West looking to extend their advantage. Rodriguez. Awkward pass. Field did well to pick it up. Last tackle. Red Devils. Rodriguez Grubbers. And luckily, Pieper was back there to save the day.
On the spot there again was Troy Pieper, and it's been what a find for Mick Henderson to have someone like him jump in and play number one with the absence of Jason Raper this season. And we've seen Mitch Jennings had a chat with Peeps during the week, and he said that Rapes has been a massive help for him positionally and just to get used to playing back in that number one jersey. We'll look for him later on in the game, especially around the ruck when the game does go on around these big Western Suburbs forwards.
He certainly doesn't look out of place, and he's had a bit of work to do early on in this one. Nice offload away, and McGregor runs at Stewart. Bear hugs him to ground. Last tackle for the Canaries. Back to the boot of Syker. He's met as he kicked it, and he's kicked it out on the full. But it may be a penalty taken late, and that is the call. Dale Whiteman blowing up the penalty. Your thoughts on that one, Johnny Penn?
Touch and go, that one, Corey. And as the whistle was blown, we've seen Harry Syker jump to his feet and run down to where the penalty was blown. So an opportunity here for the Dapto Canaries, 15 metres out from the try line.
And they trail 6 points to 0, and now they're 10 metres away. In the 14 jersey, it's Williams on the park. Going to their bench, Shirley, the Canaries. Set deep to the right. Syker at first receiver, Robson. Short pass and almost going through Joel Reddy. Cut down and a nice tackle, 9 metres out. Back to the left. We're there, it's Hancock. 2 metres out. Robson puts it on the boot, coming through. Reddy down. Canaries hit back. The old Robson and Reddy combination.
I reckon that's something they did at Para back in the day there, Corey, but a great hit back there from the Dapto Canaries. And going back to the pre-season in that Challenge Cup, we've seen 4 Dapto tries against Western Suburbs, all scored from the boot of Jeff Robson. So again, Jeff Robson's boot resulting in points here for the Dapto Canaries. Shows
you the value of a good kicker. Syker, he's had a couple of nice early kicks. That last one where he ended up getting the penalty wasn't one of his best, but perhaps it was that extra attention, that extra pressure that saw that one go out in the full. But Jeff Robson doesn't miss there on a sixpence for Joel Reddy to come through, and think we might have seen that once or twice, as you mentioned, Johnny Pett, in their Parramatta days. Now doing it for a different kind of blue and gold. 6 points to 4. Important kick here for Harry Syker. A win to contend with. It is swirling round, Johnny Pett, but it is in favour of the Canaries. We may even see a bit of fade on this kick, the way the wind's blowing. He may even have to get a teammate up to maybe put a finger on the football.
Might be back to the old front yard footy days. Get your teammate to put the index finger on top of the ball. Dig a hole in the ground with your boot.
Could do worse. So Syker. The ball coming off the tee yet again. He's about 15 metres in from the southern touchline here at the Dapto Showground. 6 points to 4. They trail. This to level the scores. He wastes no time, and he's missed it as a result, rushing the kick. Could that come back to bite them, Johnny Pett?
Well, I think one touchy went up and the other one waved it away, but referee Dale Whiteman, he wasn't having a bar of it. He said it was waved away. So we spoke about this before the game about how much points are going to be of a premium here today, so that 2 points could come back to bite Dapto in the behind later on in this game.
As Tony Pello goes deep with that kick-off, and now Dapto. Sure, we'll be hoping to complete a set after points. Williams plays the football on the short side. Peppering it at right edge defence with Lilia now. 11 shy of halfway. Williams again. Busy since coming on the paddock. Into West half. The ball turned on the inside. Hancock. 41 metres out. Last tackle, good metres by Dapto in that set. They've made 60. Syker drilling this one towards the touchline. And Pello's quite content to just let it roll over the northern touchline and give his side a bit of a break. It's been a helter-skelter start.
It's been a fast-paced game so far, and Syker just opting to put that one along the deck and rolling into the sideline and really giving his team just a couple of moments to have a breather. As you said, Corey, it's been a fast pace. It's been of a rapid pace, actually. We've just seen, it's like a game of table tennis, just going back and forth, back and forth. I think we're going to be in this right to the death, and whichever team just really cracks in that defensive line. But at the moment, one try apiece, and that goal, the missed attempt from Syker so far. Just over 22 minutes left in this first half, so a lot of football left in this half. You see West bringing out of their own area just over the 10-metre line.
Mitch Porter playing the football there. It'll be interesting to see two big forward packs. Who will tire first? That's going to be the million-dollar question.
And I'm sure we'll hear the impact of those collisions from up here. There'll be nothing left at this game between these two sides. They'll put it all on the paddock, and 80 minutes of football will take it out of them. Professionalism stretched all over both sides. As we said, so much ex-NRL experience in these two sides, and it's just a matter of forcing the other team to make a mistake, and that's where points will be.
As West work it into Dapto's half to the boot of Green, and Green sends it high, and Pieper again letting it bounce. Luckily, Reddy was there. He throws a speculator. It almost went over the head. There in the 18 jersey, Bowditch by the looks of it. May have been. In fact, sorry, we're having a look. It's Capan, the replacement for Josh Bryant, who is a big loss here for the Canaries. Lilia. Henderson. Thought about the offload and took it to ground as they get into the Red Devils half. McGregor. An easy 16 or 17 metres. 32 away. Robson. Going high. Pello under it. The chase coming through, and Pello stands up to the test. 5 metres out from his own line. His brother Colby Pello coming over. Driven back in the tackle. Dapto looking to muscle up. 6-4, West lead. The dummy from Stanford who's been good.
He's played as an extra half, Stanford, so far in this first half. He's just given that little bit of X factor, that extra option for Josh Daly out of dummy half, and he's creating a bit of space around that ruck and really giving his outside backs a bit of opportunity.
They've got some good ball playing forwards, and that was Stewart throwing that pass to Laurie, who'll play at 15 shy of halfway in the last. Rodriguez trying to chew up every metre he could before putting boot to ball. And Capan has to trap it on his foot before he's met by a good West chase. 3 of them there to meet him. And the 14 there, Blay on the field for the Red Devils. And Kia, 14 metres shy of halfway. Keith Lalia. The dummy from Henderson. That arm Cox has to offload. Syker thought about kicking, gives it to Williams instead. They're 40 metres away from the West goal line on the last. Robson through the hands, ready on the boot. Keogh coming through. Keogh picks it up, but he dies with the football. It was unlucky. It was a nice chase and a little casual from Tony Pello, but maybe he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was casual or just wasn't sure. He's seen a big steaming Keogh coming towards him, and Keogh diving on that ball. I was sort of under the impression he was really going to tow it forward and kick it past Pello, but he dove on the ball, tried to flick it out the back and create a little bit of magic there, but just caught with the ball, and a little bit of good play there on that right-hand fringe from that combination in Reddy and Lalia. So another one of those ex-NRL combinations working for the Dapto Canaries.
The right edges of both teams looking dangerous as West trying to find Dapto wanting on that side we talk about. Green passing the ball to Blay, and Blay's almost up to halfway. This wind still swirling round as West shaped to go out to where they had a 3-man overlap on this left side. And now to the boot of Green. This one's high. Peeper. And also his winger there, and Capan. Again, no idea, and it may cost them because West's, they're only a metre out, and they'll have another full set of 6 to attack. Short side they go. Stewart. Question marks on the pass. It's called forward.
And a massive let-off there for the Dapto Canaries, and it was a massive bomb there from Zach Green. Dylan Capan just couldn't take it in this swirling wind. And on that right-hand fringe, I thought Glenn Stewart had pulled out a bit of magic there to flick that on. Looked like Towers out there on the right, but that pass just going astray, and Dapto let off it. Western Suburbs Red Devils, they are looking in great form so far in this game.
That right edge is lethal. I almost thought that Stewart could have gone himself and maybe got over the line. He did have an unmarked man, but getting it out to him was always going to be the question mark. He couldn't quite pull it off on that occasion. As Dapto get out of jail, they trail 6 points to 4. Keith Lalia now. In fact, Lalia this is. He'll play the ball 15 metres out. And that is Keith Lalia with the football. Now it goes to Hancock. 32 away. Devils muscling up, butchering an effort. That would have seen them go up by 6. Ready. Out of one tackle. Offloading. Syker almost through. They go to the left. Peeper. Goes out to Capan. Capan one-on-one with Porter. He gets some help from Williams. Williams brings him down 35 metres out. Back to the boot of Syker. This one he drills towards the posts, and Pello's back there. Pello one bounce and will cart it back out where he's met 11 metres out. And a strong run by Colby Pello. Almost up to the 30. They needed that one. And another effort, this time from field. 8 shy of halfway. They go down the short side. Rankmore over halfway. Stanford playing at the line, Williams. In fact, that's Blay, I should say. They're 41 out. Stanford at first receiver again. Back to the boot of Green. Keeping this one low. And Pieper coming across. Lalia. Former Cook Island international, along with his brother. No shortage, as Johnny Pett mentioned earlier in the call, of NRL and international talent in this Canaries side. That's Henderson. Just the 2 tries so far. Robson to Reddy. Oh, and we've seen our first Falcon of the afternoon.
That'll be on the Bar TV highlight reel, that one. What a Falcon it was. Flush on the beak. Keith Lalia. That'll water the eyes.
Heavens above. I'm surprised he's not down on his haunches after that one. That was a bullet from Joel Reddy. Now he's down on his haunches. He seems okay.
He'd be sucking in the big deep breath there, Keith Lalia.
What it does mean is the Canaries get the scrum feed because it's come off West. Sure how they worked that one out. It all happened very quickly though. And now a chance for the home side, trailing 6 points to 4. Syker straightens the play and Pieper, they read it. Blay was there. Henderson standing in the tackle, refusing to go down. The dummy, Hancock. Last tackle. Right to Robson. Kick towards the post. The chase is coming through. But it's going to trickle over the dead in goal line and out of the 20 for 7 tackles.
Robson, he seems to be doing all the short kicking game towards the try line. We've seen Syker, he's more of the clearing kicks, and he must have the bigger boot than Jeff Robson. But it was a good thinking there from Robson. He was looking for Pieper on that chase, but Pieper just got shut out a little bit there while chasing that ball. And Dapto, they really had a good chance here. How often do we see, Corey, on the tail end of 7 tackle sets, either resulting in points or an opportunity for that team?
You're dead right. As West march it towards Dapto's half, Stewart through the hands out the back to Pello. This time the Dapto defence is up to it, but it will be a penalty. They were all offside in the middle. Up 6 points to 4. We know points is at a premium. I don't think they'll be thinking 2 points this far out and only up by 2.
No, and 12 minutes to go. And the old captain coach Mick Henderson, he's still out there, so he's putting in big minutes early in this first half. We've seen his other 2 front rowers rotate. We've seen Jamie Dunning come to the bench.
Now West's. That 2-point advantage. Blaze tackled. 15 out. Daly, short pass, and Cole Lodge straight over next to the uprights. And in the moment, West will be up by 8.
There we go. Tail end of a second tackle set. At the back end of that, a penalty, and Kyle Lodge just strolls over, pretty much untouched there. Troy Pieper at the back didn't want to know about that. He just strolled straight past him. So West hit back off the back end of a penalty.
And that value of those ball-playing forwards and also those tip-on plays. I'm not a fan of when you see, particularly, and you see it a lot in the NRL, a lot of one out, a lot of settlers. But you saw there, it was early in the tackle count, but playing with a bloke at the line, and it was a nice line at that, and as you mentioned, Pieper didn't want a bar of it.
I don't think I'd be hanging back there if I seen Kyle Lodge, any of these Western Suburbs forwards rolling at me. Saying that, I don't think I'd be in front of any of the Dapto forwards either. So it's much easier up here, Corey, behind the microphone than what it is out there on the rugby league field.
Being a winger, I never knew what it was like at the middle. I can't comment on this.
Mate, I
hung out with footballers.
I was sitting on the wooden thing on the sideline. Splinters, they called me.
Yeah. My jersey was still probably cleaner than yours standing on the wing. As now Mitch Porter. Another easy attempt. He makes no mistake. It's 12 points to 4.
We see West going to the bench. Brad Speechley on. So he played a little bit of reserve grade earlier on. A good 20 minutes of football he did play for reserve grade. So look for him around that ruck. And Coach Pete McLeod, he's gone to use Speechley a few times so far this season. And what we've seen and just around dummy half and just what he brings to this team and what an option he has to bring Josh Daly off and someone like Speechley onto the field.
He was very good when he came on late against Collies a couple of weeks ago when I was calling that one. Looking forward to seeing how he goes, trying to pick out these tiring Dapto forwards as Blay plays the football 15 metres out from his own line. There's the try scorer, Lodge. And this is another good run. Well, his confidence is up. The tails are up for West. They all want to get in there and have a run. That's rack ball. Out of the initial tackle and almost up to halfway. Maybe they sense a bit of blood in the water. Rodriguez. It was slightly telegraphed and, well, it was Pello on the inside and they were all over him like a rash. He couldn't take the football and a chance gone begging there.
Yeah, definitely. They really showed in that set, only from them few tackles there, Corey. They really had the spinnaker up there and they had a lot more just on the back end of that try. They just seemed like they lifted a notch there from a few tackles. Probably not the right option there to go. Wasn't really enough room for Pello to go through that gap and it was well read from the Dapto Canaries. Just under 10 minutes left. That margin stretched out a little bit further. So 8 points now the lead for Western Suburbs. So we see Robson having to feed the scrum again.
And Keogh at first receiver, barely been sighted. He gets a rare hit up. And he's met in a good tackle by Stanford and also in there Cole Lodge. Ball turned on the inside and Dapto into West's half. Trailing 12-4. Syker. Short ball. They're up over the 40. Can they hit back before half-time? Syker on the inside to his front row forward in Hancock. 21 metres out. They go open side. Syker finds Robson. Robson decides to not go to Reddy, instead to Pieper, and it breaks down. They were just crabbing towards the sideline. It was easy for the West defence, and it'll be a scrum, loose and feed to the Red Devils.
They just looked like they ran out a little bit of room there. They had to put out the back. They used the tails, moved tails again, but just cramped up a little bit on this right-hand fringe. And Dapto, they're playing very direct through the middle. A lot of inside balls back off the grain. And the times they have gone down to this right-hand edge, they have looked dangerous, but that time they just run out of room. And I'd like to see Syker and Robson just play a little bit more direct and then sort of go out and find these outside backs because there's points all over this park for Dapto and they just can't seem to execute that last pass, resulting in points.
We saw Joel Reddy steaming towards a gap and they went out the back instead. It's tough to stop Joel Reddy when he gets ahead of steam up. It may have been the play, but hindsight, it's the beauty, isn't it? We can stand up here all we like and say that was the option.
It's very easy to call it from up here.
A lot harder down there, and we're seeing a tough, hard contest at the moment. Colby Pello skipping through tackles and almost away. Just hanging on there. It was Dunning and Hancock in the middle, and they concede a penalty. Not what they needed with 7.5 minutes left, trailing by 8. Piggybacking West up the park. And Green finds touch. 10 metres into Dapto's half. Now Blay, in fact. Blay 31 metres out. It's tackle one for West. Up by 12 points to 4. The dummy from that man we were talking about, Brad Speechley. The super sub coming on, looking to spark West. Rodriguez, a hospital ball if ever you've seen one. Maybe a hint of a knock-on from Pello. Great defence by Keith Lalia, was up quickly. 10 metres out, West still on attack. Rodriguez, cut out pass, and field is driven by Lulia again. Last tackle. Back to the boot of Rodriguez on a sixpence. There for Porter. Porter backs it to Towers. Towers flicks it out the back. Back to Porter on the boot. Peeper cleans it up, and the Canaries get away.
Bring that back to two massive efforts from Keith Lalia over defensively. He read that like a novel before that. Outside ball, just shutting down the play from Western Suburbs, and then another great one-on-one tackle here in this corner. So a massive defensive set from Dapto there. It was very much needed, Corey.
Yeah, they trail by 8, the home side, and Hancock carts the football to within 15 metres of halfway. Almost a clean through there was Dunning. Now Robson sweeping to the right. He keeps this one low. How's it going to bounce for Pello? It's kind enough, and he runs rings around Keogh. He runs rings around also Joel Reddy, but a good tackle from behind. His brother comes in. Colby Pello. 15 metres away from halfway. Stewart playing at the line to Green. Green dancing around and trying to spin out of the tackle. He can't do so. And they get the penalty. Late in the set, the quick tap. He'll have to take it back. Green, that was.
Dapto a little bit ill-disciplined here, Corey, in this last probably 10-15 minutes, and it's really something that Coach Mick Henderson will have a word to with his boys at half-time. We see him just keep giving away penalties, and Western Suburbs just marching down the field. And look, the penalties they've been justified. They're just simple errors here that Dale Whiteman, he's had to have blown the whistle.
3 and 5 minutes by my county. As Blay hits, spins, takes the tackle. Rodriguez, the try scorer in Lodge. 9 metres out. And a penalty again. So, having a look, there's 4 minutes left. You'd have to suspect they'll take the tap and go again.
Well, that's 2 in a row now for pinning the man with the ball down, and you'd think Dale Whiteman's going to have a chat to one of these Dapto Canaries players soon. That's 3 penalties in a row, and as we see, 2 points on offer.
Yeah, interesting decision, this one. I suppose 8 to 10, relying on maybe Dapto perhaps missing a couple of conversions if they are to score a few more tries in this game, but keep the scoreboard ticking over. 3.5 minutes left. They can start again.
When you've got a man like Mitch Porter that kicks goals, he has got a boot like a radar. So those 2 points there, I hope I haven't mocked him. But Mitch, all the best here for this attempted conversion.
We've seen some beauties already this year from the commentary box.
But as we said, points are going to be on a premium today. So 8-point lead, now a 10-point lead if he converts this later on down throughout the game. We don't know what this next 40 minutes of rugby league is going to produce. We could see a completely different Dapto side, more discipline come out in this second half and really lay on some early tries.
We have seen this breeze swirl. You'd have to say Dapto's had the better of it, though.
Yeah, you'd think that. Like looking at the flags,
certainly not on the scoreboard.
No, but looking at the flags, you would think that. And a couple of Harry Syker's kicks, you'd definitely think that. But also the boot of Rodriguez and Zach Green, they haven't really missed out on metres off their boot. So this wind is it's just swirling around. I mean, it could be completely different down there on the ground from what it is up here. We're noticing.
We'll have a look at the flags behind the uprights there with Mitch Porter. It seems to have swung now in West's favour.
They're going different directions, those flags, aren't they?
And he has struck this one nicely. That is going to make it a 14-4 scoreline with 2 minutes left in this first half. The home side with plenty to do, Johnny Penn.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we spoke before the game, Corey, about who we were tipping to win this game and who we thought were going to take out this game. And we both agreed that Dapto were just going to be the stronger side. And look, I've been on the West bandwagon this year. I watched them last season and watched them just produce week after week and slowly gain into just a great football team and what we've seen in the pre-season comp. And I was speaking to Mitch Jennings about it. Anyone that really wanted to listen, saying Western Suburbs, they're the real deal this year. Anyway, we come here today and we look at the lineup that Dapto have got, and I've gone behind what my form reads. That's why I can't pick a winner on a Saturday.
It just goes. Don't worry, I'm with, you're not alone on that. Not alone on that. It's a tough one to pick, the Illawarra Hardware Man League. As West take the football forward. Maybe the fact that the Canaries have played one game in 3 weeks is starting to tell. They're up against the West side that have played plenty of football in the first 3 weeks of the season. As now Stewart plays it on halfway. Oh, Green's had a Barry there. He's dropped the football stone cold. And a chance for Dapto with 48 seconds left in the first half. They packed the scrum quickly.
Would have been a bit disappointed if Dapto didn't rush to that scrum there. Behind on the scoreboard, big opportunity just before half-time. As we see now, Dale Whiteman blowing time off. And Zach Green, a very unfamiliar and uncharacteristic mistake from him. He's usually, hands like glue. But there, just looked up at the defence coming at him before he could kick that ball. As we see Dapto with a chance coming to that right-hand fringe where they've been a little bit successful.
Oh, well, Lalia did all the hard work, beat Kirkfield one-on-one, but the pass to Keogh was wayward. That will be half-time, you'd suspect. Though, West, they're rushing to the scrum. They want another crack. They want more points.
I bet Dapto wish they didn't run to that scrum now, Corey.
That beautiful thing, hindsight again. How it goes and twists and turns, the game of rugby league.
2 seconds left. Are we looking for a kick to the sky, a miracle play, or they just run down the clock?
The kick might be the go. As the halftime siren goes, will we repack? Yes, it looks like we will. So Rodriguez to feed. Green standing at first receiver. Will he put it to the boot, Johnny Pett? Oh, you're a genius. He puts it to the boot, but it goes to Pieper. And Pieper, he's still going, Pieper. Looks for his support on the outside. He finds it in the winger there in Capan, and Capan kicks it downfield. And Rodriguez is back there. He'll boot it onto the Greyhound track here at Dapto, and that is half-time. Are we sensing a little bit of an upset? The visitors up by 14 points to 4 over Dapto. And we'll be back shortly with the second half. You're watching Illawarra Hardware Man round 4 action, the match of the round between Dapto and West, live on Bar TV. Welcome back to the Dapto Showground. Illawarra Hardware Man action, round 4, match of the round. It is West leading Dapto 14 points to 4. Johnny Pett, your thoughts on that first half? Did the scoreline reflect the flow of play?
I think it did in the end there, Corey. I think those last 10 minutes, just the way Dapto gave away some very easy penalties, to say the least. They were just ill-disciplined penalties and allowing Western Suburbs to march down the field. I think the scoreline does reflect. I think West do deserve the 10-point lead. I can't see West holding on to that lead. I think Dapto are going to come out a better side in this second half. A massive rev-up talk from Coach Mick Henderson would have been at a premium down there in the sheds at half-time. And I suppose the talk from Coach Pete McLeod would have been just stick to your guns and keep doing what you've done in the first half.
Mick Henderson, we saw in that first half an uncharacteristic error from him, which led to a try down the other end from West. I'm sure he has a point to prove in this second half, as do a lot of these Dapto players. West, well, that will be the big test. We've seen them in a couple of big games lately against Collies. They were trailing and were playing catch-up, but today they're playing from in front. That will be the big test of can they hold on. As we see Mitch Porter lead the Red Devils back onto Dapto Showground. That wind, it's died down just a fraction, but it'll still play a big part. We saw some high kicks in that first half. The fullback's been really tested. Troy Pieper looked uncomfortable under a couple. Also, Tony Pello's had to squirm a couple of times as Harry Syker has gone to his boot. What a big boot he has.
Looks like Mick Henderson will start from the bench in this first half. Just looking down there at the Dapto Canaries bench. If the camera's on, we can see big Nathan Hodson there strolling around. Bit of a stalwart for the Dapto Canaries. And last time we did a Bar TV game, he was running the water and pulled a hamstring. So it looks like, Forrest, you're not running water today, just spectating from the bench.
A little more circumspect today as play gets back underway in this second half. Canaries with first use of the football. Dunning with it. 3 in there to meet him and bring him to ground, including Speechley, who's out there as the reserve hooker. And now a bit of confusion. Now the ball in the middle of the park. $14 points to 4. West lead. Last tackle to the boot of Robson. Drilling it low towards the touchline. And again, Pello's more than content to watch it roll over the stripe. And it'll be a scrum 20 metres out from their own line where they can start again.
Looks like a little positional change there for Dapto. We see Tyson Tamakaha with the 13 on his back. Looked like he might jump into the dummy half roll. Dylan McGregor's still out there, so he might just turn into a bit of a running back rower type sort of player for the Dapto Canaries. So another chink in the armour that Coach Mick Henderson has got to use for his side that's just got talent all over the paddock.
Plenty of versatility. As we see Fields carting the football up. 25 metres out from his own line. The ball with Stewart. Plenty of attention on Glenn Stewart. And a suspect play the ball, and it's pulled up from Dale Whiteman. Dapto with an early chance for points.
I thought Dale was going to let that one go there. He might have looked up and seen it was Glenn Stewart and thought, well, I'll let that one go. But it was the right call there from Dale Whiteman. And an uncharacteristic mistake there from Glenn Stewart. Something that someone was his talent and ability and just what he's done in the game. You don't really look to players like them to make those very simple mistakes.
Well, we saw Michael Henderson in the first half, and at the start of the second, it's Glenn Stewart. Robson now picking up Lulia. 25 metres out. Slow play the ball. There in the 16 jersey, it's Bowditch. Robson. Out the back, Syker had to reach for it. Pieper to Lulia. Lulia bouncing away from one tackle. Getting the offload back to Syker, who finds Robson. Robson looking to pick up someone, eventually picks up Reddy. Reddy's standing still. He's easy meat for the defence. They're 20 metres out the Canaries. Now there in the 16, it's Bowditch again. Now Robson. Robson going low, Reddy coming through again. And like we saw in the first half, Robson to Reddy. But no, it'll be a goal line dropout. West got there first.
Yeah, good couple of hit-ups there from Reece Bowditch there. Just going through and up into the Western Suburbs Red Devils defence. And we nearly sent a carbon copy from that first half. We've seen Mick Henderson spill the ball early, resulting in Western Suburbs scoring a try. And then we've seen another ex-NRL star making a mistake. And Dapto nearly producing 4 points. And that was a deep dropout from Western Suburbs.
Straight into the chest of Robson. And now it's Bowditch with the football 30 metres out. He plays it. Now Dunning. Lodge came out with thin air. And Dunning made 20 metres. And the penalty as well.
Well, he's been consistent, Dale Whiteman. He penalised Dapto numerous times in that first half for them holding down the Western Suburbs player. And now we see a penalty to Dapto for West holding down. So massive chance here for the Dapto Canaries.
And Bowditch with another hitter. A busy start to the second half for the reserve forward Robson. Reddy standing still. And he's tripped up there by Speechley. Now, Tamakaha. Another penalty. They were all offside on this right edge. Right edge defence standing tall at the moment. But they've been asked plenty of questions. Tamakaha will take the tap to Dunning. The Warhorse. He's only 3 metres out. Short side with Syker. Dummies. Goes towards the uprights. And he's brought down. Speechley. Ball and all. Right they go with Robson. Had to reach behind. It wasn't the best pass. Reddy making something out of nothing. Lalia cutting back on the inside. And he's roped in around the legs. They go short side Reddy. He finds Keogh. Keogh looking to barge his way over. And he may have just done so. He points to the spot. And the Canaries strike first in the second half.
Massive round of applause there from the crowd here in the grandstand. The Dapto Canary supporters, they're cheering. They've seen a different side come out in this second half, and must have been a great spell from Coach Mick Henderson there to give his Dapto boys. They look like a different side, Corey, in this second half.
Coming out with plenty of purpose. And on the flip side, what West did so well in that first half has gone by the wayside. Errors, penalties, and they've paid the ultimate price, 4 points. A tough conversion attempt now for Harry Syker, but an important one.
They were so disciplined, Western Suburbs, in that first half, and Dapto on the back end of 3 penalties there, marched their way down the field, and West just kept giving them away. He nearly blew the pee out of the whistle there, Dale, in that passage of play. And still, Keogh, he had a lot of work to do on that right-hand side. He really barged over there and laid out a few of the Western Suburbs players on the deck as he put that ball, slammed it into the ground over there. A much-needed try for Dapto. It's what they needed to do to come back in this second half.
You find with wingers, sometimes it's not your day, you don't get many touches, but when you do, you have to make every post a winner, and Nimi Keogh did on that occasion. Tough conversion attempt for Syker on the northwestern touchline. The Canaries down by 6. It is 2 tries apiece. The strike, it's on its way, but it won't have the legs. And Johnny Pett, we're seeing what difference goal kicking can make. Having said that, you look at West tries basically adjacent to the post. It does make it a lot easier, but 14 points to 8, it's game on.
Yeah. Mitchy Porter, he's really had a gift day with the boot so far. Most of those attempts have been close to the uprights, and Syker's been a little bit more difficult, and we see the wind take effect from that attempt from Syker, just really pushing across the face of the upright. So Dapto with their tails up here with the ball in hand, working their way out of the area, and they'd want a completion out of this set and a good kick on the end of it.
Joel Reddy with another good run. Boy, he's looked dangerous every time he's touched it. Now the Canaries are 15 metres away from that halfway mark. Bowditch, it's been good since he's come on. The dummy. Tamakaha almost slicing the defence. Last tackle, 41 away from the Red Devils goal line. They go through the hands. Reddy, he puts it on the boot and it's rolling towards the touchline. Pello has to play at it, and he did well to stay in, and he's beating tacklers at will here before Robson wraps him up, 21 out.
He must have been close to the chalk there on that side. Pello, he tiptoed there and brought it back infield. And it was a good kick chase there from Keogh. And again, we see Joel Reddy putting ball to boot.
He's doing it all this afternoon, and Green has shut down on that occasion. There in the 17 for West, Jason Green. Speechley straight through. He's looking for his support. He goes to Pieper, and Pieper makes an important tackle. He doesn't hang on, but slows him down enough for Reddy to complete it. The Red Devils. The grubber going through, it's gone dead. That wasn't the play, Johnny Pett.
No, it definitely was, and what great work from Brad Speechley. We spoke about him in that first half being so elusive around that ruck and really picking out those tiring forwards, but not the kick that Zach Green would have wanted on the tail end of that set, and now a 7-tackle set for the Dapto Canaries.
Could be a massive momentum swing as Dunning makes 15 metres, and that'll be tackle 0. Now McGregor. Stewart in there, and also Lodge. Syker, cut out ball, quick hands, Lalia, and he finds Capan, and Capan is into the west half, 41 metres out. Slow play the ball. He'll get up quite groggily.
I think he might have copped the knee for his troubles there accidentally from Mitch Porter, so that's why he's getting up a bit groggy.
May just get attention. No, he's fine and ready to go. Now Robson turning it on the inside to Hancock. The ball away. Tamakaha almost through. He's 11 metres out. Still tackles up the sleeve for the Canaries. Robson straightens the play. Out of one tackle, he dummies, and Rodriguez, his opposite number, gobbles him up. That'll be the changeover, and West only hang on by the barest of margins on that occasion.
They only just hung on there. Jeff Robson, I thought he was going to pass there, but he backed his ability and went himself, and he just got dragged down short of the Western Suburbs try line. And we're seeing a complete change in this second half, aren't we, Corey? We see West really on their backs here and really struggling to really stop this onslaught that Dapto's just producing. They just keep marching down the field. Dapto, they look like they're fitter and better in this second half than what they were in the first, and we've talked about so much in this competition about the break, how teams don't need the break or they do need the break. West would have liked to play that full 80 minutes so far in this game, but Dapto, they really needed that half-time whistle to go, and that could be due to the lack of football that Dapto have had in the past few weeks.
You're not wrong, and they look at a $1 million better team than they did in the first half. Having said that, opportunities for both sides. We saw Speechley coast through the middle of the Dapto defence. So this game threatening to open up into a bit of a try-scoring fest. We've only had the two from either side so far.
Look, we're talking about how different Dapto are in this second half and how well they're marching down the field, but you look over at the scoreboard, they're still 6 points behind. So there is a lot of football still left in this for Dapto to really come back and put their nose in front, as Western Suburbs look like they are behind out there on the field. They're still in front on the scoreboard.
As we stop here for an injury to Kurt Field, who's just receiving some attention from the trainer. He's on his haunches at the moment. A little bit of concern showing for him. Both teams just an opportunity to suck the big ones in and take a sip from those drink bottles. It may not be a warm day here at Dapto, but it's been physical, it's been ferocious, it's been quick.
Yeah, we always knew when we seen the draw come out at the start of the season, you pencil in these sort of games, your Dapto versus West, you know it's going to be a physical encounter. You know, sometimes we come here, it's 30 degrees and it's hot and these players are really looking for that break, and it's windy, it's cold, and they're still looking for the break. So it just shows that how quick it is out there today and how physical this game is. The water runners have been super busy.
And I think they'll continue to be for the next half an hour or so.
So we see Dale Whiteman getting a bit of attention there, the referee, from one of the trainers.
A few running repairs. Just having a look. Maybe even getting his laces tied. I'm not 100% sure there. Don't think he's getting much sympathy from the Dapto fans here.
Looks like he's all right. He's trotting back to his mark.
So the Canaries will continue with it. Ooh, and a flat pass, and it's called forward. Tamakaha with that suspect ball onto a steaming Jamie Dunning.
JD a little bit too keen there. There was a little bit of pause in the play. He knew he was the next hit up, so that was probably in his mind for a couple of minutes there, but a rare error there from Tamakaha, who's been good slipping into that number 9 spot in this second half. And we've talked about Dapto being in such good form in the second half, and now a big opportunity for West inside the 40-metre line.
They'll need to come up with points. Speechley out the back. Pello stepping back on the inside. The tackle made. Tamakaha, the man who made the error, making the tackle. Stanford stepping off the left. He's 16 metres out, centre of the park. Daly, Rodriguez, Rankmore, 5 metres out. They're deep to the open side. It goes short instead to Green. Backing his way towards the line. He's centimetres short. Daly, Rodriguez. Oh, he looked for Rankmore, couldn't find him. Now Speechley, long pass. Pello stepped, then kicked. It'll be too deep. It'll be another 7 tackles for Dapto.
Yeah, I bet Justin Rodriguez wished he got that ball inside there to Rankmore. There was points on offer there. Rankmore, he would have gone through untouched. As we see there, Rodriguez, he got caught with the ball, played the ball, and just the wrong option for West there, kicking it over the dead ball line. And 7 tackles set, and this is only the first tackle. 0 tackles now for Dapto, so already at the 30-metre line, marching down the paddock.
Tamakaha looking for a way through. Now they try to test this West right edge. And a strong charge by Hancock. 42 metres out. Dapto, they trail by 6. Lalia with a juggle. And Porter's in there with Stewart to finish the tackle. 35 metres out. Syker going to the air. This will test Pello. And he did very nicely. No real pressure on him. And this is where he's dangerous. He gets the ball on his outside to his brother, Colby Pello. Pello with Pieper. Pieper and Pello. He runs round him. Keogh comes in. And he gets the offload away back to his brother, Tony. Tackle 1. They've got Dapto on the rack. Speechley, Stewart, quick hands, Towers. Porter picks it up on the bounce. He's got 4 Canaries around him. They've scrambled well. The danger not gone. Laurie And Leah Tagaga, the starting front row, back on for the Devils. They go to the left. Rodriguez, they've got numbers. They've got to score. A dummy from Pello, and he does score. It's a double for Tony Pello, and they've edged ahead 18 points to 8.
Great passage of play there from the Western Suburbs Red Devils, and them two brothers again, the Pello boys there, combining to march their team down the paddock. They just pop up at the right spot at the wrong time and go back to Harry Syker's bomb, and the fullback in Tony Pello, cool as a cucumber, taking that, giving it on to his brother, and isn't he electric down that left-hand side? We are at Dapto Showground, world-famous Dapto dogs. Put him in the box here on a Thursday night, and I'm sure he'd be on first onto the bunny.
I tell you what, if he missed the start, he'd still win by the length of the straight. It was a poor chase by Dapto. It was a good kick by Syker. No one really putting pressure on Tony Pello. And Pello not only had time to catch the football, but he ran across and linked up with his brother. It was almost like a sixth sense there. He was looking for Colby straight away, and the chase, it was left wanting.
Yeah, the two boys, they played at Corrimal last year, and they were absolutely awesome for the Corrimal Cougars, and a great pickup for the Western Suburbs Red Devils. And I'm sure when Pete McLeod got them two boys to train, and he's thinking, where am I going to put these two? Because he has got such a good... He's got just such good players from 1 to 13 across the paddock, and we've seen Colby Pello play a bit of reserve grade, and he just absolutely shined out there at Gibson Park in round 1.
That's scary, isn't it?
Pete McLeod had no option but to keep him in the first grade side the week after, and he played a perler against Collegians, and he's just backed it up here again. So the two Pello boys, again, super for the Western Suburbs Red Devils.
As I mentioned, a double for Tony Pello. Mitch Porter, this will be probably his most difficult attempt of the afternoon. He's about 10 metres in from the northern touchline.
And it was all the running of Dapto 5 minutes ago, wasn't it? We were praising them for being that different team.
That one holds up in the breeze, but it holds up nicely as far as Mitch Porter's concerned. 20 points to 8, and you touched on it, Johnny Pett. Dapto had all the momentum, they had all the running. Somehow West find a way to get themselves out and score points.
Yeah, look, we were talking like Dapto were in front and they were going to come over the top of Western Suburbs. They just looked like so much more hungry than Western Suburbs were, and they marched their way down the field, just couldn't cross the line. But it's a funny game, football, isn't it? It's a game of two halves, it's a game of chances, and West took that chance down that left-hand side, those two Pello boys combining and marching their way down the paddock, and Dapto with a massive job in front of them now to pin back this lead that Western Suburbs now extended 20 points to 8.
As Laurie carts the football up and done. In fact, it was McGregor who had his measure. Nice one-on-one tackle. Now Glenn Stewart tucks that one under the wing, and he's almost up to the halfway in the process. And Daly catches the markers out and beats a couple of tackles. They've marched up 60 metres. Last tackle, but Daly, he's hurting that tackle. Struggling to get to his feet. They go short side. Rodriguez to the sky. Keogh, Pieper, they watch it, and they watch it go out on the full. So it looks like a bit of a breeze heading towards that northern side of the field. We saw in the first half, Syker kick one out the fall to that exact spot.
It was nearly identical where the ball bounced, and you took the words right out of my mouth then, Corey, but this time wasn't resulting in a penalty to the kicker. As we see Dapto approaching over the halfway line, just shy. And Mick Henderson will have to be starting to think that, can he crack this Western Suburbs line again? Because he showed glimpses. They showed glimpses of brilliance early 10 minutes ago, but they've just seemed to have gone back a little bit. Western Suburbs, you give them a sniff and they take the whole chance, don't they?
They certainly do. Hancock, that was a good run, and turned on the inside there to Williams. Williams 29 metres out. They need to respond, and they need to respond quickly. Ready with a ball that fortuitously goes out the back to Pieper. And that'll be 6 again. Ready out of dummy half. That big frame of his, and they're finding him tough to contend with. 6 metres out. Full set of 6 up their sleeve. Robson. Williams. He'll play at centre of the park. They go short to Hancock. Syker. And Fogler will play it. Syker. Turning the ball on the inside to McGregor. Last tackle for the Canaries. Peeper short side. Grubber through. Pello's there. And Mr. Reliable at the back for West saves the day.
That man again, Tony Pello. We see massive contact from Matty Hancock on his opposite number. No, sorry, it was Mitchy Porter he just squared up.
He did not miss.
No, he did not, and you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of a shot from Matty Hancock. He can hit him.
It's Field. Carts the football up. He's 21 metres out from his own goal line. Now, Leah Tagaga playing the football to Rodriguez. Kicking the ball straight down the throat of Peeper. Peeper looks up. It's a straight line in front of him. He goes out to his winger and Capan will play the football where Lilia will take the football forward. Offload back to Syker. Syker straightens it. He dummies. And he's up over the halfway mark. Good play from Lilia to keep the ball alive. They'll need to resort to this second phase play to create something. Henderson plays it back on the park for this final quarter of the match. Robson, short pass to Reddy. Reddy looking to throw it out the back. He dies with the football. 38 metres out the Canaries. Trailing by 20 points to 8. McGregor turns it on the inside. And it's Hancock. He'll play at centre of the park on the last tackle. Penalty. Well, that's a coach killer.
It was much needed, that penalty too. Dapto, there was cries from the crowd that West were all offside during that set of 6, but another penalty for that man just holding down the man with the ball, trying to get up and play the ball. So, if anything, Dale Whiteman's been consistent in giving those penalties out, and so he should be. It's just simple errors. You'll learn that in junior football. We're playing first-grade football here, so those penalties should not be happening.
Pete McLeod will be pulling his hair out. That was the last tackle. Now Dapto, they've got a full set of 6. Syker, Peeper. Porter was up quickly. That'll be 6 again, I would have thought. What does Dale Whiteman have to say about this one? And he's called it that way. It'll be a scrum, loosened feet to Dapto. That one coming off Mitch Porter, who was up quickly. It was nice defence.
It was well read by Mitchy Porter. He knew who was going to get the ball, and he really shot it out of the line and made contact. A little bit unlucky there from Porter. He just bubbled it. As we see, a double knock on. So Dapto Canaries 20 metres out. They'll feed the scrum and a fresh set of 6 tackles. And if they are going to start hitting back, now's the time. They've really got to cross that stripe and slam that ball down. And it's exactly what Mick Henderson will want his men to do.
16 minutes left. They trail by 12. 12 points, we've seen it so often before, is nothing, particularly when you've got 15 minutes left.
Who do we look to here, Corey, to create a little bit of magic? And I know it's a star-studded side of ex-NRL experience, but I'm looking to someone like Troy Peeper to really crack through the middle and stamp his authority on this game late in this second half.
He hasn't been given an inch today, but you know he's going to keep coming. So Robson, first receiver, to Keith Lilia, back to Robson. Robson, he's got a chance. He's got a 2-on-1, and Keogh going for the try line. He'll cross for his second. Here come the Canaries. 20 points to 12, and there was no stopping the barnstorming Nimi Keogh.
Nimi Keogh, that's a double for today. And Tony Pello, he probably didn't want anything to do with a big storming Keogh coming down that right flank. I know I wouldn't want to be there. I'd have given the big saloon passage. But he's super dangerous with the ball, and it was great ball movement from the Dapto Canaries to get that ball out to Keogh, and what an option they've got out there for someone like Keogh to really storm down there. He wouldn't look out of place in the front row or second row, but Tim Bean out there on the picket swing, how good's that? And it's great to see wingers score tries. Big, solid wingers as well that just steamroll fullbacks. How good is it?
Well, as a little winger back in the day, No, I never liked it at all. I never liked it at all with those big fellas picking on us on the wing. But no, it is great to see. And that right edge for Dapto, it's so lethal. Joel Reddy, Keith Lalia and Nimi Keogh. It's a nice luxury for Jeff Robson.
Yeah, it sure is. And you go to the other side and you got Harry Syker and the rest of the troops. Like, which way do you go?
Yeah.
I'm sure when you're playing dummy half like McGregor or Tamakaha, he just looks up and just has a look and thinks, who am I going to go to here? Doesn't matter which way I'm going to go, I'm going to get results.
Now this is a massive kick for Harry Syker. The strike on this one, it's not going to have the legs. So it becomes an equation where they need to score twice to hit the lead. 20 points to 12. But there's 14 minutes left. I could quite easily see at least another couple of tries in this one before we're out this afternoon.
I'm not pulling a call out on anything. Is there going to be 1 try, 3 tries or 4 tries? Because
come on, Nostradamus, come on.
9 times out of 10, I am wrong. So let's just sit back and enjoy this last 15 minutes of what has been a cracker of a game, Corey. And, mate, we've had 2 of the best seats here in the house.
Go.
And look at that. Here we go. Momentum swung. Swinging back Dapto's way again. So how many times has this breeze swung for each side?
I don't know what swung more, the breeze or the momentum. It's been unbelievable. So they'll take the tap. They're not confident with kicking for touch from the centre of the park. And here come the Canaries again. Henderson to play it. And now it's Hancock. 35 metres out. Really coming home with a wet sail. Syker. Syker skipping. Up to the 20. Pieper at first receiver. He finds Fogler. Tamakaha at dummy half. He goes to the man that started at dummy half, McGregor. Looking to force his way over. That's the 5th and last. The ball back in the hands of Robson to Reddy. Through the hands. It's a horrible pass. And that'll be the changeover.
Not the pass they wanted on that right-hand fridge, and I'm sure they were going for Keogh again to get over the stripe that was heading that way. And we'll go back a few plays, and Harry Syker he's got a lethal left foot step. He looked like he was coming down that left fringe and really just jammed his left foot into the turf and went back infield and created a little bit of spark around the middle of the field for the Dapto Canaries.
Well, as the big boys tie 12 minutes left, it may be a little piece of individual brilliance from a Harry Syker, like you mentioned, with that lethal step. That could be the difference.
Yeah, well, that lethal step might produce something like Peeps on the inside there, just that axe move, just cutting up through the middle. I'm not sure what's going on here at the moment. We'll try and listen in.
So it's going to be, by the looks of it, a penalty to Dapto, is it? No, it's going to be play on. Yes, it will be a penalty to Dapto. Oh, it looks like it may have been a tackle off the ball, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have the referees' mics wide in here in the commentary box. Those at home might have a better idea of what's going on as we play on. Robson going out the back, and the play breaks down. It was good defence. Coming up there was Pello. In fact, it may have even been Rodriguez. So now it's Hancock. 12 metres out. Dapto need to be next to score. Back to the right with Robson. Robson turning it on the inside. Oh, Lalia. He's had a good afternoon, but on that occasion, he's coughed it up. He'd be bitterly disappointed with that, and with 11 minutes, 53 seconds, it's another chance gone by the wayside for the home side.
That was a big opportunity for Dapto. Just Robson's pass could not find Lalia's breadbasket. It was a little bit low, but you'd think he should take those sort of passes. It was there, but again, another mistake costing Dapto a chance to cross the stripe, and a massive let-off for Western Suburbs. So Mick Henderson, he's back on the field there. He must be thinking, what can we do to cross this stripe? As we see an old school push in the scrum.
And it almost came off. Referee Whiteman, he was not having a bar of it. Will reset. This time it comes back the way of West. Stewart. And the NRL legend have one final say on this game. Laurie. They're up quickly. Lodge. Already one try this afternoon. He marches his way to the 40. Leotagaga. Strong charge. Oh, the starting front rower almost lost the handle on it. And rank ball. Good metres for West. That's the last. Short side Rodriguez. Picks out Keogh. And Keogh is through one and looking for support. And rank ball comes over the top and makes an important tackle. Now Keith Lalia. Hoping to make amends for that error just a couple of minutes ago. A strong run. There's his brother Lalia. He gets the offload back. It'll be play on for Tamakaha. They're 40 metres out from the Red Devils goal line. They trail by 8. 9.5 left. The inside ball was on. Didn't quite work out. Syker was looming. Now McGregor to Robson and Reddy. Trips over Rankmore. They're losing ground here, Dapto. That's the last. Tamakaha going through the hands. I don't think he knew it was the last.
Looks like we're on here.
Well, it was a late tackle coming in after the whistle had gone. Not sure whether he heard it. It's an interesting one here now for referee Dale Whiteman to deal with.
Yeah, it could go each way, this. We'll just wait and see how this one pans out. As we see Dale just saying both sides just to move back. There's a bit of a late shot there from the Western Suburbs player, and I'm not sure Tamakaha, or definitely Tamakaha did not know that was the last. As we see time off here, and this will be a big call in the concept of the game. Just over 8 minutes remaining in this game, and Dapto trail by 8, and they could be awarded a penalty 20 metres out.
Well, it's an interesting one. The whistle had gone. Does Dale Whiteman use his discretion and maybe the player didn't hear it, or maybe it was intentional and maybe it was a fraction late there. And I suppose if it is a penalty to Dapto, it's decision time. Do they come within 6? Do they go for the jugular, go for the try and look to score a couple of meat pies before we're done this afternoon?
I reckon Hendale go for the meaty. He looks like a meat pie sort of man.
Man after my own heart. A lengthy discussion going on here between the two skippers, Porter and Henderson. So it'll be play on, and you have to say, as a couple of people in the crowd have alluded to, it was a lot of time wasting for that result.
Definitely, and probably not deserving of a penalty there. We
got to the right decision.
Yeah, I think the player didn't hear the whistle, so.
So now the dummy from Speechley. Oh, and a high contact from Fogland there. And if he didn't take his head off there, he would have been through.
Yeah, I think I'll stick up for Fogland here. I reckon it's come off the shoulders there.
It did slip up.
Definitely, and a little bit of a size difference there. Speechley's only little, and Fogland's quite thick and solid, and I think that one's just bumped off the shoulders there. Not a great touch finder there from West, but they're about to bring the ball back over the halfway line shortly.
Oh, and Lodge, he got out of one tackle, and look at that strength. Over halfway. West can put it to bed. Leotagaga. They're 40 away. They lead by 8. Inside to Laurie. He's put on his back by Robson. Oh, Speechley levelled after passing the football to Pello. Oh, Fogler did not miss his man.
Jay Foglin again on Speechley. Justin Foglin, what a shot.
He's got a target on his head, Speechley. But they're only 8 metres away, Wes. Speechley, first receiver, puts it on the boot. Work to do to get out of the in goal. They won't be able to do it. A goal line dropout coming up.
So Speechley gets the last laugh there, I think. Corey put that nice little cheeky kick through and good chase from Western Suburbs, trapping Troy Pieper in the in goal. So seconds are ticking away, just over 6 minutes left. 8 points still the lead to Western Suburbs. Can they hold on?
That's the question. And no thoughts of a short dropout. Lodge carting it back. 23 metres away. They can put it to bed with a try here. Rodriguez inside to Laurie. Laurie and Lilia. The tackle eventually finished off. Speechley. Dummies. Speechley for the try line. It's all over, folks. The Red Devils will take the points here at the showground. And it's little Brad Speechley. He's been threatening every time he's touched the football in this second half. And he goes straight through the tiring Canaries defence.
If there was a man that deserved the try today and to seal up that game, it is Brad Speechley. What a try. Individual brilliance there from Brad Speechley, and just stamped his authority on the game since he's come off the bench for Pete McLeod. And they'll extend their lead, Western Suburbs. And West, they showing signs of brilliance throughout this game. They've been a little bit patchy, but I'll pose the question to you, Corey. Are they now the benchmark of this competition? They've beaten Collegians. They now beat Dapto. They had a draw with the rule. But now do other teams look at West and think they are the benchmark of this competition?
They have to be. They have to be. You look at this Dapto side, on paper, the best side of the competition, hands down. When you look at reputation, but reputation doesn't mean for anything necessarily, and we're seeing it with this West side. They've got quality all over the park, but they're players that are playing to the best of their ability at the moment. Having said that, I think they've got a lot of improving still to do in them. That's the scary thing. But so do Dapto, so do Collies. It's going to be a very interesting season. But you're 100% right, Johnny Pett. They are the benchmark at the moment. As Mitch pulls it up, and there is still a tiny glimmer of hope if he doesn't kick this. So this is an important kick for Mitch Porter. He strikes it, and he's missed it. So there is a ray of hope, but they would need to score.
Ray of hope, I've made lateral times in this last 3.5 minutes of rugby league here, and it's been a cracking game we have witnessed. I hope everyone at home has enjoyed the telecast. Corey, I've enjoyed today. It's been, could have gone each way earlier on. We've seen patches of brilliance from both sides, and now we see what we've talked about, the benchmark of the competition.
Well, it bounces, and it's going to bounce the wrong way. It'll be a penalty to West, so that is well and truly the ball game now. And an important period, this next 2 or 3 minutes for Dapto. They can't let this blow out. Not only for for and against, but also for morale.
For and against has got a big thing to do with it also, Corey, because we look at these, what we think is going to be the top three towards the end of the season. We look at these two teams, we look at Collegians. Every game's going to be so tight. So for and against, I think, will play a massive part in the tail end of this season. And as we talked about, we see West now become, as we think, the benchmark of the competition. I'm sure Collies are sitting at home thinking something different about that. They're another one of those sides with a star-studded lineup, and Coach Nathan Feen's got at his disposal there.
It is a long season, but they've started off on all the right notes. Rodriguez to Pello. The kick charge down by Robson. He'll pick it up. And Dapto will come up with the ball 32 metres out. That'll be the first tackle. Underwhelming performance. This man's been pretty damaging when he's had limited opportunities. Nimi Keogh. Henderson, who started the game. Back to the drawing board. Now Syker. Pieper dummies. And that's the story of the day for Troy Pieper. They've shut him down.
Yeah, they've done their homework on Peeps.
Now they go short side. Lilia a chance. Lilia, oh, and look at that from Towers. He's plucked it out of the air, and now he's away from one tackle, and he's into the Dapto half where he'll play the football. Porter going to the centre of the park, an attempted strip. That'll be 6 again. 1:15 left. 24-12, the game in the bag for Wests. Looking to put the exclamation mark on this dominant win. Laurie plays it. Leah Tagaga. Shaped to go to Stewart and took the ball into the defence. Stewart first receiver, skipping, looking for a way through Stewart. He'll play it 5 metres out. Tangled up in the play, the ball with Hancock. Stanford, short pass Leah Tagaga. Short side. Pello, cut out pass, and that's a nice line from Kurt Field. 28 points to 12, kick to come. And there is the exclamation mark.
We've got his name on repeat, don't we? Tony Pello again, producing the goods there, and what a whole run from Kurt Field to absolutely blow this game out in the end. As we see the clock ticking away, Corey, less than 10 seconds remaining, 28 points to 12. An absolute pearler of a victory for Western Suburbs. And we spoke about them being the benchmark and what a competition we have in the Illawarra. We look back at the results so far. We've seen West draw with Thurrool. We've seen West beat Collusions. Now we've seen West beat Dapto. We see Dapto hold Thurrool scoreless at 20-0. We have got some competition in that top 4 teams. And then we look back and we have a look at what Berkeley done to Helensburgh last week. They absolutely put Helensburgh to pay last week. So we have got a great competition in the Illawarra, and the football that everyone's witnessed at home and everyone here today just shows what a product Illawarra Rugby League is.
As Mitch Porter lines up what will be the final passage of this game. I love how ruthless Wests have been this afternoon, playing right to the end. They haven't put the cue in the rack at all, as Porter makes it a perfect afternoon with the boot and a perfect afternoon for Wests. They've defeated the Canaries at their own track, 30 points to 12. Johnny Pett, if you had to pick a player of the match, who would it be?
Tony Pello and Brad Speechley for me. They were enormous. Mitchy Porter was big again with the boot, but the relentlessness of the Western Suburbs Red Devils forwards, just going forward and allowing their halves to play off the back end of that, was something to see today. Dapto Canaries, they look sharp all over the paddock. Nimi Keogh, 2 tries down that right-hand side flank. But West, they just really did their homework. They gave Troy Pieper no room to move at all, and that's where he's been so dangerous so far in this season. Good to see Coach Mick Henderson playing big minutes out there. That's only going to benefit the Dapto Canaries this season. They've got such a good forward rotation with their 2 front rowers in Jamie Dunning and Matty Hancock, and then throw into the mix the captain coach. So, look, Dapto, they haven't played much football so far in the season. Let's put that down to the efforts today. Let's put that down to a bit of lack of fitness, a little bit of lack of game time, because I don't think we'll see 2 performances like that from Dapto in a row or at all this season.
So it was West Day today, 30 points to 12. Johnny Pett, thanks for your expert analysis. An absolute pleasure as always. Just having a quick look next week, Johnny. Coming up, West v Berkeley. Thurrool, the Butchers up against Collies. That's going to be an absolute ripper clash at Gibson Park. And Helensburgh, well, they take on Dapto, and what a chance for them to hit back. So it's been an absolute pleasure here today, live on Bar TV. The Illawarra Hardware Man match of the round. West triumphant over Dapto. We look forward to having your company again next time.